Okay, so now Mr. Ardell is going to teach you how to find perimeter. So we talked about last time that perimeter is the distance around a polygon, a shape, or a figure. So in order to find the total amount of centimeters in a shape, there's going to be 3 different examples of what a question might ask you. So the first example is when a shape already has all of the sides given to you. So we have 10 centimeters, 10 centimeters, 18 centimeters, and 8 centimeters. So what you need to do with perimeter is you need to add all those sides up. So what I'm going to do here to make it easier for myself is I'm going to do 10 plus 10 first. So 10 plus 10. That'll give me 20. So I know I'm done with that. Then I'm going to add my 18 onto 20. And then I would get 38. And then 38 plus 8. So 8 plus 8 is 16. And that carry over the 1, that gives me a 4. So the perimeter of this shape right here, when I add up all these sides, would be 46 centimeters. So that's the first example, when they will give you all the sides and how many centimeters there are on each side. That's already given. So I like to call this example the given example. Example 2 is when they give you 1 unit of measurement, so 9 centimeters, and you have to figure out the perimeter. Now you're probably asking yourself, what goes here, what goes here, what goes here, what goes here? So all these lines are equivalent, which means they are all the same. Now I know it might not look like it because of how I drew the shape, but imagine all of these are the same. So if this is 9 centimeters, then I know this has to be 9 centimeters. This has to be 9 centimeters. This has to be 9 centimeters. And this has to be 9 centimeters. So once I figure that out, all I do is I add all the sides up together. So I know I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So I could just do 9 times 5, and I get 45 centimeters. Or I can add them up and do 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, and I get 45 centimeters. So there's 2 ways you can figure that out. So I like to call this example the non-given example. So they don't give you all of the sides, so you need to figure it out yourself because they're equivalent. Now example 3 is, I like to call this the given and non-given example. So this is non-given, this is given, this is non-given, and this combines both of them. So they give you the total amount of centimeters the perimeter is 30. So we know when we add up all our sides to find our perimeter, it's going to equal 30 centimeters. Now we're missing this side. So what should I do? Well, I know this is 12 and this is 8. So what I could do is I add 12 plus 8, and I get 8 plus 2 is 10. I get 20. So if these two combined equal 20, then I know to get from 20 centimeters to my 30 centimeters total, I would need 10 centimeters. So now I know that this missing part would be 10 because that equals the 30. So if I add up 12 centimeters, 8 centimeters, 10 centimeters, that gets me to 30. Another thing you could do is, let me find my eraser. Let me erase this. Another thing you could do is, say you were trying to figure out this side. You could take your total, so you know this figure is going to be 30 centimeters in total. So what you could do is start by subtracting. So 30 minus 12 would be, let me subtract 30 minus 12. So 30 minus 12 would be 18. And then I minus another 8. and I get 10 centimeters. Now, I started with my total and I subtracted 12 first, and then I subtracted 8, and I'm at 10 centimeters now. So in order to figure out what this side is, I would have to subtract again until I get to 0. So if I'm at 10 centimeters, what would I subtract from 10 to get to 0? Well, 10 minus 10 would be 0. So I know that this would be 10 centimeters. So there's two ways to figure out this type of problem. I would suggest adding up your sides and then figuring out what you need, what number you need to get to your total. The subtracting method is a little more complicated, but it is a way to solve the problem. So there are two ways to solve the problem when you get to this type of problem. So we have a given example, non-given, and then we combine both of them, and they give us the total, and we have to find the missing part. So those are three examples you're going to see on how to find perimeter.